Hello. It's like 3:13, yo. I was sitting, writing, thinking to myself and writing about how interesting it is that I have all these tools. But sometimes when you get wrapped up in stress, it's easy to forget those basics like tuning into your breath, checking in with your posture, checking in with your thoughts. That's a big one for me. I tend to run negative thought loops. I don't know about y'all, but it's probably my worst toxic habit, which I'm working on and continue to. But all that mentioned, what I decided to do was get up and do a quick stretch, do a quick body check. I was reminded of the reason I often pop on for a live stream is to help hold myself accountable, motivate myself, and hopefully encourage you as well to do a little body check in yourself. Remember that you're worthy of that, and it doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to take a short time, but you don't need any special outfit or even a hand-built head hut like I happen to have here. You can just right where you are, check in with your breath, your posture, and your mindset, your mental narrative loop. Make sure you're not playing some untrue self-deprivating thing, which is what I tend to do, or some untrue blamey thing towards others. I do that one too. Anyway, it's best just to focus on the present, which is usually full of all sorts of loveliness and things to appreciate and be grateful for, and or tasks at hand that needs the doing. So get to them right after you check in with your breath, your posture, and your mindset. I'm just going to do a real quick run through. I'm standing in a straddle so that I can get to the camera because I got that in a weird position. So let's do some hip dips. Just check in with shifting the pelvis. If you're sitting down, just checking in with that, getting a little range of motion. And I'm going to do a little twisting from the waist, grounding those feet. Or if you're sitting, you can try to ground those sits bones. Might be helpful to go a little slower if you're sitting. Whereas I find I can get a lot of stability out of the core of the earth a little easier. Maybe my legs are a better, easier conduit to do that than my sits bones. That's just me noticing that right now. Do some side stretches in any case, whether you're sitting or standing. I do encourage you to do the opposite. If you've been standing a lot, then maybe have a little sit down. And if you've been sitting a lot, then maybe stand on up. The idea is just to shift your perspective, change it up, and check in with the body. Hopefully breathe and smile, be playful. I'm just shifting into the hip and side to side now, just kind of playing with that. You play with rooting both sides firmly and staying rooted on one side and see how that shifts the stretch into the side, as opposed to letting that stretch come on down into the legs and come into the side, where for me that brings it more into my arms and legs, I'm noticing. So again, from a rooted position, stretching along the side, and then dipping the hip, letting that whole side stretch turn into more of a crescent moon in the body, and then I get that stretch more through the torso and the arm and the leg, to this side leg. Anyway, let me know in the comments, where do you feel that stretch? Or did you feel that stretch? I'm going to do a little de-stressing of the hands and arms. My elbow, looks like a regular elbow. I'm so excited. I wasn't sure it ever would, so yay. I'm still being very gentle with it, of course, and it's still just a tad swollen and weak, but it is healing very, very well, I'm happy to say. And so I can get back to some of my regular stretches, which I hadn't been doing for a while. So arm across body and just moving that shoulder up and down, letting that swing, and other arm across body, shoulder up and down. Letting that arm swing. Let's bring hands behind back, clasping hands, rolling shoulders and elbows towards each other. Push those hips forward, coming into a nice back bend or counter stretch. And then coming forward, trying to scrape my nose on the ceiling of the dome and bending from the hips. I'm going to come on down, just hang from the hips. Still keeping it gentle on that elbow. I can feel it talking to me, so I'm not going to push it at all. But just hanging here, relaxing from the hips. Play with those arms, however feels good to you. Try some side to side or back to forth. I'm going to relax the elbows, bring these hands down, check in with the lower back, down the back of the legs, to the ankles and the toes and up the fronts of the legs. Just doing a quick body check through the torso, through the chest, and off the arms. Rub the hands together, smooth up the face, gather up any stresses in the mind. Just give all that stress back to the universe. Let it be recycled. I hope whatever else you're doing, that you're remembering to let go of some stress. Breathe and smile if you can. Practice loving yourself because you're worth it. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. Till next time. Peace.